would request all of you to settle down very quickly, please. We have already one flight. Also, I would request all of you to check your phones while you should go silent and discreet. Indian team will be traveling to Mohali tomorrow, so there will be no practice of media activity. Please raise your hands, identify yourself and one question at a time. सर ऐसे ही पूछ लो आ जाएगी
कहाँ बड़े अंतर से जीतने की बात हो रही थी कि रन रेट बढ़ाना है, 50 रन से जीतना है, कहाँ हारते हारते किसी तरह से जीत पाए, इस परफॉर्मेंस से आप कितना संतुष्ट हैं? दूसरा
नहीं, एक बार में एक
सवाल सर, बहुत सारे लोग हैं
क्योंकि मुझे पता है आपको खुशी नहीं हुई कि इंडिया जीत गया। नहीं सुनिए बात सुनिए, आपकी आवाज़ से, आपके टोन के, आपके सवाल से ऐसा लग रहा है कि आपको खुशी नहीं हुई है कि इंडिया जीत गया, ठीक है। और जहाँ तक क्रिकेट की मैच की बात की जाए तो स्क्रिप्ट नहीं होता है, इट्स नॉट अबाउट द स्क्रिप्ट। आपको एनालाइज करना होता है कि हम टॉस हारने के बाद जिस विकेट में हमने बैटिंग की थी, क्या कारण था कि हम ज़्यादा रन नहीं बता पाए। अगर आप ये सारी चीज़ें बाहर बैठ के एनालाइज नहीं कर रहे हैं तो यू शुडंट आस्क दिस क्वेश्चंस।
Yeah, my congrats first of all. What did you actually tell Hardik when you gave him the ball to bowl the last over?
We were just discussing as to what can be a good length to bowl, whether to go for Yorkers. If you're looking for the Yorker, whether you want to bowl the Yorker on the stump or wide outside off. So depending on the bowler, you have to picturize as to what is the best option. So that's what we were discussing. I won't elaborate more because it is also part of our strategy. So maybe by the end of the tournament, I can say more about it. But that's what we were discussing as to what is the best plan at that point of time. And I feel he executed the plans well.
Hendrik, you slowed the game down a lot. Do you think that was a good tactic that would have kind of offset Bangladesh those last couple of overs?
Well, if you have time, you can do that. If you don't have the luxury of time, it becomes a bit difficult. But frankly, the intention was not always to slow it. At times I found some of my slower fielders fielding at a position, where they shouldn't be at that point of time. So that's the time where I had to make those changes. And a few occasions where, in fact, I, swapped the deep point with the deep mid wicket, or the deep square leg went to deep point. So it takes a lot of time. But in a game like this, every run really matters. So you have to be very careful about what you want to do. And also, since it was a very important game, I wanted to make sure that the fielders are in the right position. Also in this game, there were quite a few catches were dropped, quite a few balls went to fielders who are not the fastest fielder in our side. Usually that doesn't happen, but this was one case where the ball was following a few fielders and it made life slightly difficult.
In the past you've often mentioned that that loss to Bangladesh in 2007 World Cup was very difficult to forget and it was quite painful. So does this win kind of erase that pain?
Nothing really erases anything because whatever said and done, we'll still remember the 2007 loss. The reason being we were playing good cricket and that was the point where we were not able to qualify for the next stage in the World Cup. So we are all human beings. I know we are professionals, but at the end of the day, we also feel hurt when we have not done well. We also feel bad that if you see ICC events, it happens every alternate year, and actually you start preparing quite early. You want your players to be fit. So you start early, and then if you don't qualify to the next stage, it becomes a bit disappointing. So I feel it's an emotional connect to the game, and I don't think this victory erases the 2007 loss because you have to move on. But that's something that was very harsh on, especially on me. I feel that was the point where I felt life was very tough.
MS, you've been part of some very close matches in the past, but surely this must rank up there. How do you personally keep cool? You mentioned swapping the field around. We saw Ashish Nehra had a few words to say with that last ball, but just personally you, with the two stumpings and then that run out, how do you keep your calm?
I think what's very important is to listen to everyone. And if you see in a situation like this, it's literally chaos. What we are trying to do is you're trying to manage chaos. Everybody will come, will have his own opinion. Often the opinion of a batsman is very different to the opinion of a bowler. But what you have to do is you have to see what the strength of the batsman is who is batting at that point of time, how the wicket is behaving, whether there is some kind of a reverse swing or no reverse swing on offer. And all these things you need to calculate, and I feel what really helps is you listen to all of them, but at the end of the day, you push the bowler to bowl what you feel is good at that point of time. So if I'm convinced that this is something that I want to do, I would go ahead with it. But definitely having an open mind at that point of time really helps, because at times in situations like these, under pressure, you may just try to think you may have a tunnel vision, but that's where the input of other comes in. But we have to assess everything, and it has to happen in a very short span of time.
I would apologize in advance. I can't take all the questions. I'm sure you all will understand that. Mr. Nayak, please.
MS, how tough was the batting especially? And when this much score was there, what did you tell, how to go about it, and what was the plan?
I think it was a tough toss to lose. Initially we thought there was moisture on the wicket. But in situation like this, at that point of time, you don't know how much moisture is there. Like if you see the Calcutta wicket, they didn't get enough time to prepare it, so there was moisture. But the thing was, it stayed the same. It was not little moisture that evaporated or the wicket got better with time. That's what happened over here. I feel the difference between the very first ball when it was bowled compared to the second innings, there was quite a bit of difference. The ball was stopping on, especially when it came to the spinner. If you're bowling slow, you can definitely get a bit of purchase and trouble the batsman. And I feel as the game progressed, the fast bowlers, their ball started to come on slightly better. The spinners, if you can still flight the ball, if you can hit the seam, you are able to get a bit of purchase of the wicket. But I certainly felt the wicket got better to bat on in the second half. But still, a lot of credit needs to go to the Bangladesh batsmen, because they came in and they expressed themselves. And at times when you don't have too many, if the stake is not too high, often you will see batsmen going out and playing all the big shots. And when you play on a big wicket or a very good wicket, often it helps your batting. So I felt they did really well. They kept cruising and they kept putting pressure on our bowlers.
Just please.
Hi, MS. Congratulations for the win, first of all. And it was a horror start for Bumrah especially. He misfielded the first ball for a boundary and then he dropped the catch. And then we saw you called him up and had a word with him, Rana going to bat him at the back. What did you actually tell him that he came back so strongly and bowled those two crucial overs that turned the match in our favor?
If I say everything over here, I'd be out of job. But I after the first misfield, if you see actually his international career, this was the first game where he was under pressure. It's not only the pressure of bowling. Often, I consider him slightly weak when it comes to the fielding department. And today's game was very important. We all knew how important it was. And to start the very first ball, if you miss, as a youngster, you are under pressure. And I feel that actually reflected in his bowling also. Then he dropped the catch. So it's important at that point of time to tell him, that it doesn't really matter, because what has happened has happened. You can't do anything about it. Even if you sit there for half an hour, the batsman won't get out. So what was important was to get away from it, and at the same time try to execute your plans, what your strength is. But I felt when he came for the second over where he went for run, I don't think he was completely out of it. So after that we had one more conversation. I won't like to say what I said, but definitely it worked.
Ask 2 questions.
Mike, do you think this is one of your best performances as a wicket-keeper on the T20 match?
I don't know. If the batsman doesn't go out, I can't really stump him. If the catch doesn't come, I can't really take it. Still, I dropped the catch. Overall, if you see, it was still a very good effort by the team. I felt majority of the members of the team had a tough day. Ash had a very good day when it comes to bowling, but still there were patches where he went for runs, where he thought, maybe the batsman played a very good shot. All the bowlers, a bit, they went for runs, but they came back and everybody contributed. So I feel it's a very good game for us, especially for youngsters, who have not played under a lot of pressure. Somebody like a Hardik or Bumrah, this was a first, you can say, first proper interaction with pressure, what pressure can really do. So I feel they must have learned a lot out of this game. And these are the games that really make you better players, because it pushes you to think in a different way. It pushes you to, have that confidence in your strength at the time when it's really needed. So I think it was a very good game for us. Winning the game was much more important, I know, but since we are on the winning side, I can say the players would have learned a lot out of this game.
Mahi, Pandya bowling the last over, for instance. How do you decide as captain that you go with somebody like Pandya for the last over as you stack up?
If you see, it was quite an easy decision. The reason being, the batsmen, they were scoring quite freely at that point of time, and I knew I had to take that one over from somebody, whether it's a spinner or Hardik Pandya. And I said, what's important right now is to make a game out of it. And that's where I said I'll use the proper bowlers at this point of time. And we'll see how many runs are needed in the last over. Then according to that, we'll decide who is the person who can bowl. There are quite a few options. There was Yuvraj Singh, there was Suresh Raina, Hardik Pandya was there. And that was the reason behind it. And often it's quite an easy one. You want to give him that cushion of extra few runs, and you go back to your main bowlers and you back their strength and say whatever runs you save, it all keeps mounting on the last over, and then if he's able to execute his plans, we'll be on the winning side.
Last question.
Dhoni, this is Narayankar from Presses of India. R. Ashwin has bagged the man of the match. Personally speaking, Hardik Pandya would have been your man of the match pick. Your thoughts on Pandya?
Well, I'll speak about my thoughts, but frankly, I don't really care who gets the man of the match. Till we are winning games, it doesn't really matter. Because at the end of the day, the good thing about the team is, you appreciate everybody's performance. Often, your contribution won't be a very big one, but it may be just one run out because you've not got enough chance to bat and you're not a part-time bowler. That one run out can really change the game. And I feel that's where, more than the man of the match, the winning of the team is more important. As far as Hardik is concerned, he's going through a phase where there'll be ups and downs. When you turn in as a youngster, into the team, you're full with confidence, and that's where cricket steps in. You get a bit of a ride of your own. You score big in a game, then you don't score for a few games, then you come back strong. You may go for runs for a few games, and I feel once you go through these chapters, you become a more accomplished cricketer, as a bowler, as a batsman. So I feel it was again a very good game from his side. The reason being he had to bowl under pressure. The good thing he was willing to do it, and he was ready with his plan. So I feel it's good for him, and in turn it's good for the team also. So fantastic effort by him. Ashwin, he's a great bowler, and I've always said, he's somebody who always gives me that wicket when it's really needed. On and off, everybody will have a bad game, but he has just been fantastic over the years.
Thank you very much.